I called my lender and I said, I just fired my GC. And the lender kind of paused and goes, you fired your builder? He goes, didn't you tell me you've never built a house before? And I was like, yeah, that's true. And he goes, so what's your plan? I said, honestly, I think I can do this. The only thing that I've not done before is pouring a foundation because I've reframed houses, I've moved walls, I've done all of that stuff. Come to find out, it's way more difficult than just pouring a foundation. It pushed me to the literal brink of the edge of my finances, to the edge of my sanity. To give you some type of an idea, when the original construction budget for the house was 525,000. I was going to build as nice a house I could for as inexpensive as I could and just get my feet wet and get out. And July, August, September 2020, right about 50% of the way done, the market is really shifting in my zip code towards high-end luxury, like a very hard shift towards high-end luxury. And stuff is going for three, four, 500,000 over asking price. And so we made a conscious decision to take a risk. And in mid-project, I switched it and decided to go super high end. And I had to cover all of the overage out of my personal account because the bank had only underwritten the loan to 525,000 construction budget. I wound up spending over $800,000 on the construction budget. And all of that money came out of my pocket. And it's not like I had deep pockets at the time. I was just really doing well in my real estate business, sold almost $9 million that year, and essentially lived on nothing for my personal and just put everything into the business. Anyway, long story short, we get under contract on this house. I put it on the market for 1.7 million and it would have been profitable at that price. And that was the top of the comp range when I listed it. And we got 5 offers in 5 days, and I sold to an all-cash buyer for 2.1 million.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Pro Show. I'm your host, Erika, and today I'm thrilled to be joined by Nick Landis. Nick, it's so awesome to have you on the show today.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
So let's dive in, Nick. For those who aren't familiar with your role, give us the rundown. How did you get started in real estate and investing?
It's a long story that I will do my best to keep short for your audience so I don't bore anyone. I'm a third generation agent, and I came to the business begrudgingly, actually, because I think in real estate, there's 2 sides of the business. There's a sexy side, which is showing houses and doing cool property tours and stuff like that. And then there's an actual JOB side that is what I saw growing up. So I came to the business begrudgingly, but I did see the power of investing from my parents and from my grandparents. So I wanted to get involved in real estate investing. I bought my first house and did sort of a live-in flip. And when we sold it, we made some good money. And I thought, okay, so let me get my license so I can represent myself in these transactions. So I got my license in 2015. and just started doing building and flipping basically at the same time. And in the last 7, 8 years, I've done over 2 dozen flips and I've done 7 builds from the ground up. So I feel like I have a really diverse set of experiences in the business. Done real estate transactions, buy, sell, invest. I've built from the ground up. I've done land flips. I've done property flips.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, wow, that's a variety of things that you've done. Were there any rookie mistakes or big wins that shaped your approach early on?
Definitely. Definitely. I think any real estate investor can probably relate. I've made tons of mistakes. And like perfect example, the first property that I bought in an LLC and was like, I formed an LLC, I'm going to do this as a business. The first property that I bought was too big of a house. I bought it too far out of town. It was in a suburb called Elgin, and I lived in Austin. So too big, too far out of town. I over improved it, and I just made all the mistakes, all of them. But I learned from them. I didn't repeat any of those mistakes ever again. And to me, I think that's part of this business. You've got to be really diligent about how you buy an asset, because this is going to confuse some people, and it confused me for years. So if this confuses you, you're not alone. But you really don't make money when you sell something. You make it when you buy something. Because if you buy the asset at the right numbers, the exit will always make sense. But if you overpay, whether that's because of the market being weird, like in 2021 and everything was elevated, or you didn't get as good a deal as you should have gotten, or you made an emotional purchase, or if you overpay, then the exit's not going to make sense. But if you buy correctly, that's where you make money. So I learned that in spades.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that you focus a lot on single family and like small multifamily. What's drawn you to that niche specifically?
I think it's relatable. It was something that, I would love to get into commercial someday, because I think it's really challenging and a really interesting and very diverse space. But it's relatable for me because I wanted to own my own home as early as possible. That was always a dream of mine. And flipping, doing the first live-in flip was really kind of by accident. Bought a house, fixed it up the way we wanted it. And then when we sold it, we were like, wow, this was profitable. Like, far more profitable than we expected it would be. So I just kind of fell into it.
Yeah, that's great, Nick. And within the single family, small multifamily group, are there any unique challenges or opportunities that you're seeing with the market?
Yeah, so I think the challenges right now are definitely going to be market uncertainty. A lot of building materials come from other countries, and I think it's going to be really difficult for builders have really had a 1-2 punch over the last couple of years trying to so really over the last 5 years, if we look back, it's been a really fascinatingly interesting time that I don't think has another comparison in modern history to what the industry is facing. You had an enormous change during COVID, and supply chain issues, extreme price swings. The supply chain was the big one. And then also labor shortages. So then you had that. And then you had a whole bunch of builders getting into the business because 2020, 2021 were super profitable. And then 2022, interest rates started going up in March, which flipped the entire game on its head, especially in cities like Austin. We were zooming during COVID. So the harder and faster you go up, the harder and faster you fall. So that's been really devastating in our market here. And now with the current market and the current uncertainties, I think it's like the third punch in a row. So COVID was bad, then the recovery from COVID is bad. And now with tariffs and prices that are going to go up that have the ability to go up super quickly and relatively high. 25% tariff is a big deal. Lots of builders, in fact, most builders build with margin that's way less than 25%. And then when you layer on top of that the potential for labor shortages and difficulties finding people for these jobs, because the industry does rely a lot on immigrant labor, the future is very uncertain for a lot of builders. I think you're going to see a lot of builders go out of business in the next couple of years.
That's really interesting. For you, Nick, are there specific strategies or tools that you're using to stay ahead of all of this?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
You know, this is going to sound so cliche. I apologize in advance, but AI has really changed the game. As I'm going back through my business, I got a little fractured with trying to serve too many masters during COVID because real estate business was doing really well. You know, my business has been referral only since 2017, and 2021 was an incredibly good time in my business. But also my investment side was doing really well during COVID too. So I got a little bit fractured and was so busy and was still trying to build a team to help me scale that I didn't spend enough time on process and building automation into my business. So that is what I am majorly focused on right now, is rebuilding this from the ground up and focusing on AI and automation and making things easier for me, easier for members of my team, and easier for my clients.
Yeah, absolutely. Nick, I'm sure you know how this goes. Every seasoned investor or agent has a story where a deal didn't go as planned or a moment that tested their grit. Nick, do you have one of those moments, and how did you handle it?
Absolutely. I will tell you, I've had many of them, many, dozens probably. I will tell you my personal favorite because it pushed me to the literal brink. My very first new build project that I ever constructed from the ground up, we bought the lot in March of 2020. And actually, we closed on it in February. And then obviously the whole world changed in March. And it was my first new build ever. And I had hired a general contractor to do the project for me. And I was basically going to learn via him. I was going to watch how he handled the project, and he was getting paid a nominal amount of money to basically teach me how to do this business, how to build a house. Because I had done many flips, dozens of flips, but a new build is a totally different animal. And because of COVID and because of the supply chain issues and labor shortages and everything that was a result of that market shift, he really was not able to dedicate as much time to my project. And I'm being very politically correct when I say that. He basically abandoned me. So I had to fire him, which, as a 26-year-old who's taking a huge, actually, that's not even accurate. I got my license when I was 26. I was 30 by that point. So as a 30-year-old who's taking this massive swing at something he's never done before and a huge financial risk, I had to fire the guy who was basically the guarantee to get me across the finish line. And I called my lender and I said, I just fired my GC. And the lender kind of paused and goes, you fired your builder? He goes, didn't you tell me you've never built a house before? And I was like, yeah, that's true. And he goes, so what's your plan? I said, honestly, I think I can do this. The only thing that I've not done before is pouring a foundation, because I've reframed houses, I've moved walls, I've done all of that stuff. Come to find out, it's way more difficult than just pouring a foundation. It pushed me to the literal brink of the edge of my finances, to the edge of my sanity. To give you some type of an idea,
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
The original construction budget for the house was $525,000. I was going to build as nice a house I could for as inexpensive as I could and just get my feet wet and get out. And July, August, September 2020, right about 50% of the way done, the market is really shifting in my zip code towards high-end luxury, like a very hard shift towards high-end luxury. And stuff is going for 3, 4, 500,000 over asking price. And so we made a conscious decision to take a risk. And in mid-project, I switched it and decided to go super high end. And I had to cover all of the overage out of my personal account because the bank had only underwritten the loan to $525,000 construction budget. I wound up spending over $800,000 on the construction budget. And all of that money came out of my pocket. And it's not like I had deep pockets at the time. I was just really doing well in my real estate business, sold almost $9 million that year, and essentially lived on nothing for my personal and just put everything into the business. Anyway, long story short, we get under contract on this house. I put it on the market for $1.7 million, and it would have been profitable at that price. And that was the top of the comp range when I listed it. And we got 5 offers in 5 days, and I sold to an all-cash buyer for $2.1 million. So $400,000 over the asking price. And when I tell you that it was the hardest thing that's ever happened to me, we went under contract in May. The house didn't close until July 21st. At this point, my mortgage payment is $16,000 a month that I'm covering personally. I had to pay an extension fee because we went past the original 12-month build date. We wound up being at like 15 months, which for a custom 2,800 square foot house on my first go was still really good. But we went over the original loan period. So that cost me another $50,000. So when it closed, I had $8,000 to my name. I wouldn't have been able to make any. It closed July 21st of 2021 or 22nd. And I would not have been able to make any of my payments on anything August 1st. So I was 8 days away from missing everything. And it was the coolest. It was just the coolest, hardest, most wild ride.
Wow. You're not kidding. What for you was probably like the biggest takeaway going through that?
That you can do anything you put your mind to. That you can do absolutely anything you can put your mind to. Because I never, not even once, and I'm not sitting here saying I'm some amazing guru who never self-doubts. That happens too. But I never self-doubted that I could get this project done. Never. There was never an ounce of self-doubt. I knew when I fired the general contractor that I was going to make it work. Failure wasn't an option.
Failure quite like that. Yeah.
I've got so many stories like that. The first deal from my real estate career is also gobsmackingly cool like that. I've done a lot of really interesting transactions.
Yeah. Yeah. I do want to pivot and talk a little bit about community within real estate and investing, Nick. What would you say for you has been some of the biggest game changers in terms of building relationships in this industry?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is treating people on the other side of the transaction like your friend. And, you know, a lot of people will look at that and say, well, my job is to be a fiduciary to my client and get them the best deal that I can. And I think some people think that means beating the other agent on the other side of the deal over the head. If you want to be an agent for any period of tenure, that is not going to be a good strategy long term. You may help 1 or 2 clients win, but you're going to help every successive client after that lose because you're going to get a reputation in the industry for being the agent that does fill in the blank. And I never wanted to be that person. And again, I want to make sure that I say, I have not been perfect in every transaction. I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. But I try to the platinum rule, which is I try to treat people the way that they want to be treated. Because I know that I want to be in this business for 2, 3 more decades, and that I want to have a reputation when somebody sees my name on the other end of a contract, they have an expectation of what type of professionalism is going to be present through the transaction.
Yeah. Absolutely. That makes so much sense. Nick, what do you see next on the horizon for you when it comes to real estate and investing?
I little bit of a vulnerable moment here. I lost a lot of property in the last couple years. I was building 4 houses and flipping a downtown condo, about $6 million in property that I gave back to the bank in 2024. It just became unsustainable. I bought a lot of that property. When that garden villa house that I mentioned sold, it was 900 Garden Villa Court. That house sold for 2.1 million, and then I took a ton of money away from that transaction. Made a lot of money, far more than I expected. Um, and because and it was a one-off because we got $400,000 more than the asking price, and that was only because of COVID. So, but I never took a paycheck from my business up to that point, and for at least a year or two after, never really took a paycheck. I put all of my money back into my business. So I was really involved at a really intimate level with everything that I did. You could call me a control freak. That would be accurate. But I think the lesson that I've learned from the last couple of years, and the lesson that I learned giving $6 million worth of houses back to the bank was really tough, because a lot of time and energy. I had $35,000 worth of mortgage payments for over 18 months that were into those properties, plus down payment money. Plus, I had a team of 5 at my peak helping me with flips and builds. I lost a ton of money, and I think it's because I was too involved and didn't delegate enough. Because if I had been out there getting bigger business, if I had been out there finding another custom build or another flip to buy instead of getting bogged down in the day-to-day details, I would have made more money, and I would not have been in the situation that I was in. So this painful experience over the last couple of years with giving all this back and kind of having to start from the ground up has been actually a huge blessing in disguise, because it's changed the entire way that I want to attack owning a business, running a business. And that is, I know I'm going to have to work really hard and lots of hours for the first couple of years, but I'm going to build it intentionally so that all these processes are in place where I can hand it off to somebody else. And then it just becomes about replication, because it works in any business. So my eventual goal is I want to own a percentage of 100 companies instead of 100% of one company. And what I mean by that is I want to do a vertically integrated real estate company. I want to own a percentage of a business in every step of the building process, so that I can offer a bespoke experience to my clients. Like, hey, I own a percentage of this business. The way that it operates is based on how I operate. So you're going to have a good communication experience. You're going to have guarantees that certain deadlines will be made. Otherwise, there's going to be financial. It's like, I just want to own 100% of the process, but I want to own only like 10 to 15%. So what I'm focused on is finding those trades that want to build a business with me, like an HVAC company that's willing to give me 10% of their business if I help them grow it and show them how these processes and procedures can make them more profitable. And I want to be vertically integrated so that every step of the process is a company that we own. So there's no difficulty with people showing up or liens or any of this kind of stuff, because it's all me. So that's where I'm going. And I want to be a better business owner. I was a really good builder and flipper, but I was not such a great business owner, because I was doing things that were out of what I'm really good at, is big picture and macro. So I need to hire people that are better than me at the micro so that I can leverage my time and my assets as much as possible. And that's what I'm focused on.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exciting, Nick. Before we let you go, if someone listening today wants to connect with you, maybe collaborate, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, Kronos, which is spelled like the Greek god. So Kronos, Kronos Realty Group. I'm on Facebook as Nicholas Landis, or you can text me or call me at 512-788-6991.
Thanks so much for dropping all your knowledge today, sharing your story and your journey. I'm still just thinking about that first deal. I mean, with all the determination and grit that you had with that man, it just like with what you're talking about for like the future, I'm excited for you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that deal was trial by fire. It was good. Showed me what I was capable of.
Yeah, Absolutely. For everyone tuning in, if you got value from this episode, make sure that you're subscribed to the Real Estate Pro Show. We've got more conversations coming up with heavy hitters like Nick, who are building incredible real estate businesses. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.